students, welcome to the new class on coal and petroleum, class 8 science. On my channel Score More, you must have gone through my earlier video on chemical effects of electric current. So my style of teaching remains the same. I will tell you the concepts for this chapter, and once you have understood the concepts, then towards the end you will find a link, a descriptive link, which will have enough questions as well as answers. So just be relaxed, enjoy the chapter, go through the concepts with me, and towards the end you will have enough questions and answers for your preparation. So let's get started. Okay, so natural resources obtained from nature with no human involvement are natural resources. Example: sunlight, air, water. So that's quite simple. Resources which are available from the nature, they are natural resources. Like you have enough sunlight, it doesn't exhaust, it is unlimited. You have air all around you. So we as humans don't create that. It is available by nature, right? So these are natural resources available by nature. So always go through the words, just see natural resources. Even if you think logically, oh, natural, which is available by nature. So what is available in nature? Air. So wind energy is a natural resource. Air, water, sunlight, these are all natural resources. Now we move further. Resources can be classified as exhaustible, which is limited, and inexhaustible, which is unlimited. So this is the division of natural resources. In fact, resources. So the one which is exhaustible, which basically is limited. The very word exhaustible means limited. What are these? Coal, petroleum, fossil fuels. We'll discuss what is fossil fuels, but coal is a fossil fuel. Fossil fuel is anything which is obtained by the remains of dead plants and animals. So why it is limited? Because to create fossil fuel, it took millions of years. It is a gradual process, and we'll learn how. Petroleum, same way, and natural gas. So these are all exhaustible resources because they exhaust, they are limited in nature. And also we do get them after a long time. So if they are not in the nature anymore, then it will take many years for them to form again, right? So coal, petroleum are exhaustible natural resources. Other is inexhaustible, so which is by the very nature of the word unlimited, like air and sunlight. Third, fossil fuels are exhaustible resources, as I have mentioned to you over here. Exhaustible, limited, because they are found from the dead remains of living organisms millions of years ago. Well, as I have already told you about fossil fuels, it is obtained from the dead remains of the living organisms millions of years ago. Now let's take an example of coal and how coal was formed. So what you need to understand, that fossil fuel is exhaustible and it took millions of years to form a fossil fuel. Fossils are basically the remains of dead plants and animals. So let's see how coal was formed. The deeply buried vegetation, remains of dead plants and animals about 300 million years ago in lowlands were buried by natural processes like floods, earthquakes and volcanoes. So first I'll read this and will explain to you then. Soil got deposited on them and they got buried deeper and deeper. Under high temperature and high pressure, the remains got compressed further and slowly converted to coal. Amazing. So what happened here? See, in the lowlands, 300 million years ago, there was flood, volcanoes, all these natural calamities buried the vegetation, that is the remains of dead plants and animals. When it got buried, so it got compressed, and when it's getting compressed, what is happening? There is a high temperature, by high temperature and high pressure, I was telling you. So, and this procedure took time, and it got converted to coal. So it's a gradual process, slow process of conversion of natural vegetation, that is dead plants and animals, and by the the effects of flood, volcano, and all these natural calamities, which actually build up pressure and high temperature on the dead plants and animals, right? So as it is mentioned here, and when it got compressed and it slowly, the one is slowly it got converted to coal. So it is a long process. So it was not formed overnight, and so it is exhaustible, right? So we need to respect and we need to judiciously use natural resources. Now, all living organisms contain carbon. Coal is a form of carbon. So coal is black in color. You must have seen coal. The barbecue which we use, we put a coal in that. So coal, round, spherical, sometimes it is irregular shape. It's a black color object. Coal is a form of carbon. So need to understand that on decay of a dead of any dead organism, when there is a decay even of a human body, there is a release of carbon. So as it mentions here, on decay or dead, when a person when there is a decay or when there is something dead, they release carbon. The process of conversion of dead plants and animals under high temperature and high pressure to coal is carbonization. Just remember, coal is linked to carbon because coal has carbon. So carbonization, whenever the word carbonization comes, it is conversion of dead plants and animals under high temperature and high pressure to coal. That is carbonization. Now move further. The 6th point, coal is black in color. It is a fossil fuel that is used in thermal power plants. We know thermal power plants uses coal to produce electricity. Earlier it was used in steam engines. Nowadays coal is processed in industry to get 3 products: coke, coal tar and coal gas. So coal basically is a black in color. It's a fossil fuel, as we read, and we also read that coal is used in thermal power plants. Though now thermal power plant is not used extensively, but if you talk about the past, coal was used in steam engines, and nowadays coal is processed. See, now coal has to be processed. When we process any natural resource like coal, we do some human labor into it. We put some technology, so we process it, and so when it goes to the industry to obtain a byproduct, so the byproducts of coal are coke, coal tar and coal gas. These 3 things we do get as further from coal. Now let's see what they are. Coke. It is a tough, porous, black substance. Porous is water can pass through it, and it is tough, which is a good thing. Coal is not that tough, but like when you process, you get coke, which is tough. Again, a black substance. It is the purest form of carbon. Very important 1-mark question. Purest form of carbon, coke. And if you are asked if a question comes, give advantages or what are the benefits of coke. Simply, it's what happens whenever you get in nature things like metal oxide, then coke is also a reducing agent. So even if you write coke is a reducing agent and it is used in extraction of many metals. So what actually happens, because it's a reducing agent, it will take the metal out from the oxide. So it is a reducing agent. So you can add if you want to, but then this is what the book says: extraction of many metals. So it is used in the extraction of many metals, and also it is used in the manufacture of steel. So when you see a factory where iron ore is used to make steel. So in the manufacture of steel, one of the product is a coke is used, and that helps in manufacturing steel. Let's move further. Now coal tar as the second product of coal is a black thick liquid, somewhat like this. You must have seen a few years ago coal tar is being used, or nowadays also coal tar is being used to level the road. That black sticky liquid, it's a coal tar. When you see the machinery there on the road, it seems as if a very foul smell, I would say, or a very different kind of smell comes. It's really hot when they lay it on the road. So that is to metal the road, or to level the road. So coal tar is a black thick liquid that is a mixture of 200 substances. Very nice. This is again a 1 mark question. How many substances? 200 substances. It is used in metaling the roads. Nowadays, a product of petroleum, bitumen, is used. So when we go further and we discuss petroleum as another fossil fuel, one of the byproduct of petroleum in the refining of petroleum is bitumen. Nowadays bitumen is used to metal the road. So as of now you just need to remember that coal tar is also being used to metal the roads, and also nowadays bitumen is also used. So let's move now to coal gas. Coal gas, again the third product. Coal gas is used as a source of light and heat, right? It is obtained in the processing of coal to get coke when coal heated in absence of air. Okay, this process is called destructive distillation, right? So I have underlined this. Simply, if somebody asks you in the examination what is destructive distillation, destructive distillation is simply it's a process of heating coal in the absence of air. So when you do this process is called destructive distillation. What is the relevance of this? When we heat coal with no air or in the absence of air, we actually want to obtain coke. But what happens in this process, another byproduct of coal, which is coal gas, is obtained. That is how inventions happen in science. You do an experiment to get something and you get something else. So that's what is a discovery and also invention, which is the amazing part of science. Here the same thing is happening. They were actually heating the coal to get coke, but coke obviously did get formed, and but also coal gas gets formed in the process. So it's a gas, right? So this is how coal gas also always gets formed when we do this process to get coke. So now two things are coming from coal: coke and coal gas, right? But coal tar is a black thick liquid that is a mixture of 200 substances. See, all these byproducts of coal are obtained through technology and in the industry. So it is getting processed. When coal is processed, it is not obtained naturally. Coal is a natural resource, a fossil fuel, but these are byproducts which are, if you read the chapter in 7 synthetic fibers, synthetically produced. This is being produced by the use of technology and processed in the industry to get 3 more products from coal. Clear? Now we move further. Uses of coal tar. See, coal tar has got many advantages, many benefits. So this I will just actually there are so many advantages. Uses of coal tar: everyday substances like plastics, paints, explosives, perfumes, synthetic dyes, drugs. 7th, naphthalene balls. So naphthalene balls, which you keep in your cupboard and in your almirah where clothes are kept, basically to get rid of rats and all. And so naphthalene balls are kept. They are poisonous, so you need to be very careful. Should be kept away from children. So this is naphthalene balls, and then eighth is the roofing material. So I'll give you a very good way how you can remember all the words starting with P. Plastic, paints, perfumes can be remembered this way. So 3 points you already have: plastics, paints, perfumes. And then you can think of naphthalene ball as the fourth point, because it's a little different. Naphthalene ball, you can always remember, is a use of coal tar. And so now you have got synthetic dyes and drugs. You can remember together: synthetic dyes and drugs. And last, if you remember, roofing material. So if you have a 2 marks question, you will easily get scored this way. Remember the points with P: plastics, paints, perfumes. Then you can put naphthalene ball, and then synthetic dyes and drugs, because both have R with B. And then if you remember, you can always think of explosives and roofing materials. So even when you have to roof, the roofing is like, in your house, the wall which you prepare, or the ceiling, or the roofing material, your coal tar is used to bind it together. Last, fossil fuels. It's a general. This fossil fuel I have kept as a generic concept to know what is energy. Energy is everywhere. Energy is something which gives energy, cannot be destroyed. It cannot be created. It is already there in the universe. It is already there on Earth. So energy is there. There has to be a source of energy. So source of energy basically is whenever you burn something, it gives you heat and light, or heat and energy, like sunlight. So it's a source of energy. Same way, fossil fuel is a source of energy. So it is fossil plus fuel. What is fuel? Fuel is a source of energy. So fossil is what? Fossil are dead plants and animals. So I'm giving a generic concept of how exactly you can relate what is a fuel and what is a fossil. Fossil are dead plants and animals. When fossils are burned, so they produce heat and energy. So which means fossils are also a source of energy, because they give you heat and energy, or heat and light. So heat and energy, sorry. Light is okay. So light, but that light is basically heat, because of heat. When you heat coal, if you use a barbecue, you heat coal, and there's a light, but that light is because of heat. So that's actually energy. So heat and energy. So this is why they are referred as energy sources, just like sunlight, which is a source of energy. Same way, fossil fuels are source of energy. So what is fuel? Fuel is a source of energy. For you, this is very important. Now, I hope students are enjoying this chapter. I move further. Before this, I just tell you, it's such an amazing chapter and has got so much of value for you as students. I recently read an article in the newspaper regarding the conventional resources and non-conventional resources. Our country is doing amazing work now with the Prime Minister's initiatives. The country has done progressively well in tidal energy, wind energy. So if you go to Jaisalmer, if some people have gone to Jaisalmer, you will see a lot of usage of wind energy, right? So wind energy, solar energy being used as solar cells, as solar lights. So these are all resources which are inexhaustible. So a shift should always be thought of from this fossil fuels, which also do a lot of pollution, to non-conventional resources as well, right? So do study in newspapers, Hindustan Times or any newspaper which you get. There is always one article on how you can save energy. Let's move further. So petroleum now, how? How do we obtain petroleum? We have understood how we obtain coal. So again, petroleum and natural gas are two more fossil fuels. Let's understand petroleum. Petrol means rock and oleum means oil. It is a fossil fuel that is obtained from the remains of organisms living in the sea. So I have underlined the important points here. So it is obtained from the remains of organisms living in the sea that died and got settled at the bottom of the sea under sand and clay, and in the absence of air under high temperature and high pressure. So there are some keywords: high temperature, high pressure, absence of air. So whenever fossil fuel is formed, it is due to some compression, due to some some process which took a long time, over millions of years. it got transferred to petroleum and natural gas. What exactly happened? The organisms in the sea which died, they are getting settled down by sand and clay, and there is a lot of compression, lot of heat and temperature, and because of this high temperature and high pressure, and that getting submerged beneath in the sea, and taking long years. So this procedure eventually gave the birth to petroleum. That's how petroleum is formed, right? So that's the next part of petroleum is a black gold. What is gold? It's very precious. It is precious, right? You know the cost of petroleum. You know the cost of gold. It's very precious, and it's shining. It's amazing metal. Everyone wants to have gold to get richer. So is petroleum also black gold? Yes. Why black? Because see, it is like gold. It is rare. It is scarce. It will exhaust in another 50 years. It's black liquid. It's a black color liquid. So that's why it's called black gold. So these are some points you can always write in the answer. But let's exactly see. Let's see how the book says. Petroleum is a mixture of various constituents like petrol gas. See, this petrol gas is a gas, but it is also called LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. See, petrol gas, petroleum gas. The LPG cylinder you see, so it's all under pressure, high pressure. The whole 16 kg of gas is actually put into the cylinder. So you can imagine how much of pressure is there inside. So when there is a pressure, the petrol gas gets converted to liquid form. Inside the gas, it's in the liquid. That's liquefied petroleum gas, right? Petrol, diesel, kerosene for cleaning also you use. It's a blue color. It must be in your house today. You use it for cleaning purposes, right? Kerosene, and also for lamps. Also, as in villages, it is used in the stoves. So these are all different components of petroleum. Petrol and diesel used for heavy vehicles. Petrol used for your light vehicles, right? So petrol, diesel, kerosene. Lubricating oil is what? Engine oil. That's a lubricating oil, right? So many uses of petroleum byproducts on its various constituents. And bitumen, as I told you, for metaling the roads. Instead of coal tar, now bitumen is being used. So I was telling in the previous slide that bitumen is being used. So I'll tell you further. So this is bitumen. So all these are components, various constituents of petroleum which are obtained. So as I mentioned, it is a black oily liquid and is of a great commercial importance. This is something which needs to be understood. It is of a great commercial importance. I have told you the commercial importance of all these things which are coming in, the benefits. Because the various components of petroleum mentioned have many uses, including as a fuel. So, because it is rare and exhaustible also, it is referred to as black gold. So, see, in science, understand, and then you can make any answer. Understand the concept, understand the importance. It's a fossil fuel, it's rare. There are so many components you are getting from this, and each component has so many benefits. So just like gold, it is also rare. It has got so many benefits. It's black in color, black liquid, black oily liquid. So it's referred to as black gold. You try to make the answer in your own words. You will always get good score, or you will score more. So refining of petroleum. So what is this? Petroleum is refined and obtained from petroleum refinery. The process of separating various fractions or components of petroleum on the basis of difference in boiling points is called fractional distillation or refining of petroleum. So this is basically the same thing. And the order from top to down is petrol gas to bitumen at bottom in increasing boiling points. Right? I will make a diagram for fractional distillation or refining of petroleum. So you see refinery, Bombay High is a refinery of petroleum. The method uses fractional distillation. So basically, it is a process of separating various fractions or components of petroleum on the basis. So you heat petroleum or crude oil. Crude oil is the raw form, black liquid. It is heated at 400 degrees Celsius, and then by the various it is actually separated in fractions, and the order of the fractions or components which are obtained are from top to bottom. Top is petrol gas, bottom is bitumen. So the order is at the top, which is the petrol gas, has a lower boiling point, and it is in the increasing order of boiling points. This is the thing which you need to remember. So that's from fractions, or you can say components of fractions are obtained, and in order from top to down is petrol gas to bitumen, at bottom is increasing boiling points. So basically separating various fractions or components of petroleum. Separating various fractions, components of petroleum on the basis of difference in boiling points is called fractional distillation or refining of petrol. This is the main concept of fractional distillation. Destructive distillation I told you. So basically process of obtaining coal or wood by heating, or in the absence of air, or you can also write coal or wood in absence of air by heating. So basically it's a process of heating to obtain coal or wood, and there is no air and it is heated. So this process which is being used on these two products, coal and wood, is destructive distillation. Right, I then proceed further. We'll discuss fractional distillation, then we'll discuss natural gas, and we'll discuss the benefits of natural gas, we'll discuss petrochemicals, we'll discuss why we need to save coal and petroleum, then we'll discuss natural gas reserves are where in India, what is PCRA and what does PCRA do. So let's start. Fractional distillation, as I discussed before. So this is the diagram for fractional distillation. Basically the boiling points of various components of crude oil. Crude oil is heated at 400 degrees Celsius, and various components of crude oil are obtained, which is basically a black liquid crude oil. And this is the raw oil, raw. In the raw form it is obtained in nature as crude oil, which is heated, and then boiling points which are obtained as fractions will be in the order of lower to highest. So at the bottom highest, at the top it is the least boiling point. So it is LPG first, which is petrol gas. Say just example 100 degrees Celsius, it could be, just you can check from your text, right now I've taken 100 degrees Celsius, this will be say 120, this will be 150, this will be 180, this way it will keep on increasing. So at the top you see petrol gas. Petrol gas is a gas state, it's also liquefied as a liquefied petroleum gas. So that is used in household and industry. In household it is used as a gas cylinder for domestic fuel. Then we have petrol for light motor vehicles. Then we have kerosene. Kerosene can be used for cleaning and for domestic fuel. Right? Domestic fuel. It is used in villages in stoves, and also for lamps for light, and also in your household you must have seen your mother using kerosene to clean the floor. Diesel, heavy vehicles, trucks and heavy vehicles are actually using diesel, but it's very polluting, and diesel engines are very noisy. So there are certainly some disadvantages as well, but then yes, it is used in heavy vehicles. Lubricating oil, engine oil, for lubricating purposes, Also in machines, oil is used as a lubricant. So it might not be engine oil. So basically it's a form of engine oil. So it is used in the various tools when the machine is running. A lubricating oil is used. Paraffin wax, the Vaseline which you apply as a paraffin wax, ointments, candles, they're all kinds of wax, paraffin wax. Bitumen, as I have already told you, for surfacing roads and paints, right? Surfacing of metal in the roads, bitumen is used. So basically these are the various components which are obtained by the process of fractional distillation. The diagram is important for you, and so are the benefits. Just have a quick look. This is an important question which will come So they can be two separate things, fractional distillation, and you draw the diagram, and then there might be some components which are asked as a short answer question, and you can tell the benefits. Now natural gas. Natural gas is obtained as important fuel from refining of petroleum. This is a refining process. From this only natural gas is also obtained. It is stored under high pressure as CNG, compressed natural gas. So students, you know compressed natural gas in autos, compressed natural gas is used, or in vehicles. So it's a much better fuel. Why? Because it's cleaner and non-polluting, doesn't pollute much. It is cleaner. That's why we say it's cleaner. It can be moved through pipelines as in production. Sorry, it can be moved through pipelines as a fuel for burning in household and factories. So the pipelines nowadays are being used instead of cylinders. So now that's becoming more popular in cities in Delhi and other metro cities, and in many cities across Delhi. We are using CNG, which is actually can be moved through pipelines, right? So this is a very efficient way of using this as a household, as a fuel for household, for cooking, and also in factories. Also H2 gas, which is hydrogen gas, is obtained from the natural gas, and this is used in the production of fertilizers to protect the crops. So these three things you can always put for compressed natural gas. Again, remember it is stored under high pressure, and that's why it's called compressed natural gas. Now we move further to petrochemicals. Petrochemicals are useful substances obtained from petroleum and natural gas. Simply petrochemicals. Chemicals, basically you can just remember the word chemicals. So they are useful substances obtained from petroleum and natural gas. These are useful in manufacture of man-made products. Man-made products will be plastics, polythene, fibers and detergents. So in one go. How would you remember this? Petrochemicals are substances obtained from petroleum and natural gas. And simply one more point you can add on to this, that they are useful in manufacturing of man-made plastics, detergents, what else? Fibers and polythene. Okay. Now save coal and petroleum. Very important. See, these are fossil fuels. They are exhaustible. They have a very limited time frame. They might exhaust in the next 50 years. So what this says, that fossil fuels that will exhaust reserves are limited, right? So burning of these causes air pollution. Yeah, you're aware of this. You know, the transport vehicles we use have it releases what? Sulfur dioxide and many other pollutants. So they basically lead to air pollution. And when coal is burned, CO2 is produced. Very important. Write this point. When coal is burned, CO2 is produced. And what is CO2? The infrared rays from the sun reaches the earth, and earth also releases. It gets heated up. It releases energy back to the atmosphere. But because of CO2 in the lower atmosphere, it gets trapped. The heat rays get trapped, and it leads to global warming. So more CO2, more global warming. So this also has to reduce. So saving coal and petroleum means what to us? Which means it has to be used judicially, and or like you read about sustainable development. So anything which should benefit to society or to our next generation should be used judicially, because they also need this. So when we use it judicially, it will result in lesser air pollution, better environment, definitely. So you can put this together, because if we use this judicially, maybe we close our car on the traffic signal, so we actually save petroleum. So lesser air pollution, better environment, availability for a longer time, they're all interrelated, right? And also smaller risk of global warming. So these are when you save coal and petroleum. Natural gas reserves are in Tripura. It's in east. Rajasthan in the west. Krishna Godavari Delta in Andhra Pradesh. So you can basically, this area is in the south towards Andhra Pradesh. Krishna Godavari Delta. Krishna River, Godavari Delta. Krishna and Godavari River, and then there's a delta which is being found. So that's in the southeast. Krishna Godavari Delta and Maharashtra. These are the four places where we can find natural gas. Natural gas, compressed natural gas. So basically it's a cleaner fuel, right? And PCRA, that's the last point here. PCRA stands for Petroleum Conservation Research Association. So it's an organization which actually tells you how to conserve petroleum. So Petroleum Conservation Research Association, 1 mark question, very important. So what of this, you will lose a lot of. It will not be efficient use of petrol. So drive at a constant speed of 40 to 45 km per hour. Switch off engine at the red light. Ensure correct tire pressure. So if the tire pressure is correct, all the tires are always with the required air. So this means you have the correct tire pressure, and that actually increases the efficiency of your fuel. And last and not the least, regular maintaining the vehicle. So with this, students, I cover this course. I feel these concepts are good enough for you to score well in your exams and to score more. And there will also be a descriptive link, as in all my chapters of science. There is a descriptive link, and that will have important questions and answers. You can anytime read those questions and answers for your examination. So first go through these concepts and then go through these questions, which will be there in the descriptive link. So this was all about the chapter. So if you like my video, please give a like, share it with your friends, and please do not forget to click the bell icon for further notification of my upcoming videos. Till then, all of you have a great day and keep smiling. Bye.